Okay. Oh, Carrie had to leave. You guys remember? Carrie had to leave, so I'm going to introduce, without further ado, the main speaker in the main event, Brooke Witherow. If any of you saw the post that we put out, Brooke's been with us about a year, almost a year. Wow, gosh, the time goes by so fast. Brooke is an intern out of UCF. She came to us and blessed us with her social media knowledge. She'll talk a little bit about herself. I can tell you right now, like Carrie said, we had a website for a long time. We were, we had a Facebook page. We had a fledgling YouTube channel, and we were trying to do all this stuff, and it was just kind of a mess. And we make them, fledgling is probably the right word, right? We'd make a little progress here and there. And but when we brought Brooke on, she really pulled it together. Megan also is contracted to us, as she talked about, and so Megan really was able to come in, Brooke was able to come in and work with what Megan was doing and really pull it together. It's very social media focused, and so she's going to share that experience with you today and give you tips and tricks. So, Brooke. All right.
All right, hi guys. So, out of curiosity, how many of you have small businesses or have used social media for your small businesses or are looking to start a small business? Quite a few of you. Good. Right crowd. So, that's what I do. A little bit about me. Okay, why should you listen to me? I'm currently attending UCF, majoring in social platforms and web design. It's a brand new major at UCF that's starting this year, which is actually about social media. So, the future is now. That's where there's degrees on it now, and I will graduate at some point. I'm a millennial. We're going to go over why that's important later. But in short, millennials are the first digital generation. We are going to break down each of the generations because a lot of people don't realize how important generational marketing is. Before I was a social platforms and web design major at UCF, I was an advertising major for a bit, and one of the main things they focused on was generational differences, and I think that was one of the most important things I ever learned. Accounts, extracurricularly, in high school. I continue to do that in college. There's a ballroom dance club at UCF that I helped start up, and I built them a website, I built them social media, and within a year they had like 700 Facebook followers without running ads. I've been working with Carrie Buys Houses for almost a year now. It's an absolute delight. I love growing their social media channels because no matter what your business, you can use social media to promote it. If it's a more niche business, if it's a traditional business, it doesn't matter. Social media is the way to go nowadays. So why social media? Well, 95% of online adults are most likely to follow a brand via social networking. They're not really traditional newsletters. I bet some people get advertisements in the mail and they probably go right into the recycling bin, like the ones at my house do. As of 2018, there are 3.196 billion social media users, which is up 13% from the 2017 and 2018 year. Now, there are around 7 billion people on the earth. So you're almost at the 50-50 point there. 59% of global consumers use social media as a source of inspiration for purchases. That's more than half are using it to find what they want to purchase. 76% of U.S. consumers have purchased a product they've seen in a brand's social media posts. 59% use it as a, I'll put that one in there twice. 70% of the U.S. population has one social networking profile, and more than 50% uses 2 or more. Does everyone in here have a social media profile of some sort? How many of you have more than one? Okay, that's more than I thought. Awesome. On average, 50% of people use Facebook daily, and only 39% of people watch television daily. So you can see it's starting to take over the more traditional media formats. Types of social media. There is social networking. That would be Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, the ones highlighted in red are the ones we're going to talk about today. There's microblogging, Twitter, Tumblr, WordPress, photo sharing, Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest, and video sharing, YouTube, Periscope, Vimeo. There's also Musical.ly, but we're not going to talk about that one. So let's get digital. First thing you should do as a business is you should sit down and you should run your own social media audit if you don't have somebody working for you. What's a social media audit? It's a several-step process. If you look it up online, There's a couple different ways to do it, but this is the way that I did it when I started with Carrie Buys Houses. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at, what do you have? What are your business social media accounts? Do you have a Facebook? Do you have a YouTube? Do you have an Instagram? Do you have a Pinterest? When I first started with Carrie Buys Houses, they had some of these things, but some of them weren't active. The Instagram wasn't super active. The Pinterest wasn't super active. The Facebook was really active, but the Twitter, semi-active. So you want to see what you have already. Write it down. Who's your competition? Look at similar brands. You know, if you are trying to open a restaurant, look at the same kind of restaurant. What do they have social media-wise? You want to see what they're doing that helps them be successful. So if you only have a Facebook and your competition has a YouTube channel, you might want to look into getting a YouTube channel. And we are going to take a dive into each one of the social media channels, explaining why they're good for you later on. Then you're going to want to build your customer base. Who's your customer? Who are you targeting? We're going to go into how to break down your customers, especially in advertising targeting, but you do want to think about who you're targeting to. If you do something specializing in retirement services, obviously you're not really going to go for the 18 to 25-year-olds right now. It just doesn't make sense. It would be a waste of money. What do you need? So this is where, taking those things, you figure out what you're lacking as far as your social media channels go. So this is where you start to plan what you're going to add to your social media channels. Like I said, if you don't have a YouTube and everyone else does, get the YouTube. If you don't have a Facebook, get the Facebook. What are your goals? You need to plan goals for yourself. Now these can be qualitative or quantitative. So with Carrie Buys Houses, when I ran their social media audit, we were like, okay, you have 30 YouTube subscribers. Not great. So let's make a goal to get this many per month. We're going to revisit this in 3 months. We're going to get this many per month. Now our goal is 25 a month, and we have been consistently hitting that goal with YouTube subscribers. You can always up your goal, but you want to definitely do something obtainable. A lot of people overestimate how easy it is to go viral. And they're like, yeah, we'll just start putting out YouTube videos every week, and we'll get thousands of views. It's not that easy. With some of these platforms we're going to go through, it is really a slow burn. You have to be in it for the long haul to get the traffic. But once you get the traffic, it starts rolling. With Carrie Buys Houses, we've definitely started rolling in the past 2 months. And then number 6, follow up. Run a social media audit minimum every 6 months. Follow up. See if you're reaching your goals. Revisit your goals. Revisit your social media channels. What could you improve? What's not? 3 steps to growth. So, everyone wants to grow their social media business online. Some of you might be aware, some of you might be not. You can actually make money off of social media. You can make money off of Instagram. You can make money off of YouTube. It all depends on how popular your website is. If you do blogging, you can make money off of blogging. So the 3 steps to growth are to know your brand, know your audience, and make worthwhile content. So step 1, knowing your brand. You need to ask yourself, what is the personality of your brand? What problems does your business solve? What is your business story? As you can see, before we do these, Carrie always tells you a little bit about the history of Carrie Buys Houses. That's our story. We want you guys to know that. What do you value as a company? These are all very key questions because with your social media accounts, there is no face-to-face interaction. You have to have brand consistency when you're going on your social media accounts and posting. There's nothing worse than when you go on a social media account, it sounds like 10 different people are all running it, and it's just discombobulated. You want to make sure your brand is consistent. A good example, we're going to go through a couple slides further. We're going to go through Denny's Tumblr as a case example. That's a strong brand voice. It's strong enough that it went viral. So these are the 4 things you really want to ask yourself when you're creating your brand. Especially what problems does your business solve? Because that's what customers are ultimately going to want to know, is what problems does your business solve? And you want to make sure that's clear on your brand pages. Step 2, know your audience. All right, this is the big one. So, when you're breaking down your audience, you should be looking at where they are located, what their income is, what interests they have, and the generation. The generation is bolded because we're going to break that down. Because, like I said, I think that was one of the most important things I learned at UCF, and we do use it every day in our business. The other ones are also a little easier to figure out. Income. You can break it down into income brackets. Location. Are they near you? Are you going nationwide? Are you going worldwide? Interest. I hope they're interested in your business if you're targeting them. But generation's tricky. How many people here know what generation they are in? Gabe knows because I told him. Case in point, look at Gabe back there in the white shirt. And
I'm the youngest in the room. Hello.
yes, Gabe and I are not in the same generation when it comes to marketing, even though there's only a 2-year age gap, I think, between us. We are not in the same generation, and that makes all the difference when you're targeting people. So on the following slides, there's all going to be a photo. Those photos are called memes. Does anyone know what a meme is? Okay, the younger people are familiar with that terminology. A meme is a funny photo that you share online, and it goes viral pretty quick, and it has usually text on it of some form. Now, there are very, very noticeable differences in online generational humor. So with each slide, you're going to see an example of the humor for them. We're going to start with the boomers. So, these memes are so popular with the boomers. They love Minions from the Despicable Me movie. I see these on my Facebook all the time. I come from a retirement town. I have a lot of friends who are baby boomers. They love these. So, the boomers. When you're targeting the boomers, here's what you need to keep in mind. They are more likely to spend big. They have reached retirement age. Nobody wants to buy a $10 bottle of wine when you're 75. Like, you're willing to splurge. They're what you think of when you hear the word advertisement. Traditional advertising is what baby boomers like. They will still go for newspapers. They will go for more text posts. They will go for more blog posts. If it's more traditional, it's for them. Discounts, they're retired. Once again, coupons are not actually going to lure them in as much as you would think. These are people who they're towards more closer to the end of their time. They're willing to spend the money. They've retired. With the social platforms, email and Facebook are king. This group uses email the most out of everyone still. They love email, and they like Facebook. Most of them use Facebook to keep in contact with relatives and old friends. So when you're advertising to them on Facebook, they do not want you to be intrusive. They don't want flashy. They don't want exciting. They just want something that fits. This is a generation that when it comes to advertising to them, self-actualization and recognition are important. Loyalty programs. Thank you for purchasing emails. Thank you for visiting our Facebook messenger bots. These are all things that they really, really like. Gen X. My normal group. That's Howie. This is the most normal group out of all of them. I will probably say. They really are. Gen X is also called the forgotten generation often. That's the slang for them. If anyone was around in the early days of the internet, this was one of the first memes that ever came out. It was I can hash cheeseburger cat videos, normal things. This is what Gen X tends to go for. Welcome to Pinterest. That is their jam. They love Pinterest. 39% of Pinterest users belong to Gen X. That is where you want to go for them. They love coupons. They love discounts. Nothing gets them more excited. So, a good example for what to do with them is if you have a Pinterest board, you can offer, if you click on the Pinterest board, you can include links, it will take them to a special discount page. They'll love that. They are the most brand loyal, too. Out of all of the generations, they are the most brand loyal. I think the number was around 80% of them have brand loyalty, strong brand loyalty ties. They want balance in their lives as well. So they're also a don't interrupt me type of advertising. They want it to be straightforward, plain, here's what it is, here's what I'm selling, go for it. They are super, super skeptical. The Great Recession had a huge impact on them. So that's why they don't want gimmick advertising. They want you to be very straightforward with what you are offering them. All right, now we're getting into, this is where you see a major shift in the generations, is when you hit millennials. Millennials, oh, that didn't load right. It's a very funny meme. Millennials,
Take my word for it.
it didn't load right, but it's very funny. Millennials are the first digitally literate generation, the ones who grew up with computers. Computers have always existed since millennials have existed. So they have a whole different perspective of things. You can't read the meme, but it says, "Congratulations on your spectacular failure. Here is your award," and the person on the ground is going, "Thank you, I am so honored." That's what they like. Self-depreciation, crudely drawn comics. It just should be out there. With millennials and Gen Z, you're looking at a rise in neo-Dadaism. You know what that is? It's a movement, it's an art movement that goes against traditional art. And it's kind of the same thing with advertising. They don't want traditional advertising, they want guerrilla marketing tactics. So this is where you're going to see your neon colors and someone dressed as a narwhal on Facebook, throwing glitter in the air, offering advertising services. I got that ad at least 20 times in 1 week, so I have it memorized. Social media is actually their first choice for contacting businesses. This is another thing about millennials. A lot of people think they and Gen Z are the same group, but millennials, Carrie's a millennial. Millennials are actually in their 30s at this point. I'm the last year for millennials, and I am almost 23, and I'm the last year. After me is Gen Z. So that's just a tip for everyone, because if you go online, a lot of people think anyone like 28 and under is a millennial. They're very different groups. Luxury and trust are meaningless. Luxury items hold no value to millennials, and there is absolutely no brand loyalty. They do not trust anyone, and they will jump ship unless you are a business with proven ethics, impact, and credibility. They are more optimistic. They've been shown to be more optimistic than Gen X and Gen Z. So they're still very much idealist. So if you have a business that is fair trade, non-GMO, no child labor, and is labeled as such, you're going to do very well with millennials. They like ethical impacts. This is where you start to get into some different types of social media websites. Welcome to Tumblr, and that guest being Twitter. Millennials are where you start to diversify. With baby boomers, you pretty much have Facebook. With Gen Xers, still, you're looking at Facebook, but with millennials, that's when you start to get to 4 or more social media accounts, usually 5. Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, all sorts of ones. They love reviews and ratings. They absolutely love reviews and ratings. So this is a good tip for Facebook. Facebook has a review system. And if you're selling a product on Facebook, if you can get reviews, you're going to do very well with millennials, because they always read reviews. They want to make sure they're spending their money in the right place. As stated, trust is meaningless. They have none. They only trust their peers. Then you get to Gen Z. I love Gen Z.
Thanks.
This meme makes absolutely no sense to anybody. It says, he has become the long boy, but how are he doing? Click here to find out. The reason it's like that...
Katie gets it.
It's just so stupid.
It's so funny, right? So the reason they do that is because they grew up completely saturated. This is the smartphone generation. They have never not had smartphones. I remember when smartphones came out, it was like a big deal, but they have never not had smartphones. So they have been just saturated with social media. They have the shortest attention span of any generation at 8 seconds long. Yes?
They don't use laptops, do they?
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do?
Everyone uses laptops. Yep.
Not much, right?
No,
I
they
have my
do.
laptop with me.
Okay.
They do. Yes.
So they're pushing back against social media a little bit, Gen Z.
They're just doing new social media.
So they're just shifting that.
They're just shifting
They
it.
gotta have their own thing.
They have their own things. Yes.
To add to that, being a Gen Zer as of 15 minutes ago when I found out, you do realize that like I'm a person that's like, not really into Facebook. Snapchat's getting old. The thing is that things are getting old quick, which means everything, including products, services, and businesses, are becoming a fad for us.
Exactly.
Which is where your marketing. I like to think that I'm a little bit more millennial minded, but it is to the point where it's with people my age and younger. If your business isn't telling them like why you're still relevant, you're not going to matter to us.
That's a key point. You better be relevant if you want to keep their attention. They don't care otherwise. They have brand loyalty is completely dead with this generation. They don't care how ethical your business is.
We shop at the dollar store for steak because it's
gone.
$1.
It's completely dead. Like I said, 8-second attention span. So you have 8 seconds to get their attention. That is not a lot of time, but it can be done. Has anyone heard of the now dead app Vine? Vine was a 6-second social media platform. They shared 6-second comedy videos, and actually a lot of people got very, very rich off of it from doing 6-second comedy videos. That's how quick you have to be with this generation. Traditional style ads are mocked, as you can see with our meme example. That's a parody of, dermatologist hater that you see in like your corner. If you try to do any style of traditional ad, they just don't care. Video content, on the other hand, is king. They, as Gabe stated, he's not really interested in Facebook. This is the generation where Facebook's starting to die. They have it, but they don't spend as much time on it. They don't care as much about it. They go on app. They don't even know, most of them don't even know what Periscope is. Periscope is a live streaming app that used to be very big. Now they go on Musical.ly. They love Snapchat. How I can tell you. These kids love Snapchat. They love Instagram. They are all about visuals. They do not care about words. If you try to advertise with celebrity endorsements, they don't care. Celebrities mean nothing to them. They do not care. Authenticity is the only thing that matters. Authenticity and relevance. You need to make sure that you are just cutting to the point quick as possible with this group. And like I said, new wave of social media platforms, Musical.ly, Snapchat, which with my generation, Snapchat was more of like, this is just for fun to send your friends silly faces, but with this group, it's actually a major form of communication, so Snap Stories are bigger than that. So those are the generations. I hope that helps someone out with figuring out the differences between them in the future, because that's going to be very important when you get to Facebook targeting. Step 3, content. So you're going to want to post consistently. When I first started working for Carrie Rice Houses, one of the things that they asked me was, they were like, well, how do we grow our following? How do we grow our following? And I said, you got to post consistently. The YouTube channel started at 30 subscribers, and now we are at almost 350. And we have not run any YouTube advertisements.
And you've been with us for almost a year, but we didn't start the YouTube channel thing right away, right?
No, we didn't start that until about 3 months ago when I started working. And we have not run a single advertisement on YouTube. That's all organic growth. How do we do it? We post twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's all we do. And then we share it on our other social media platforms. So you've got to post consistently. With Instagram, that's a photo. You should be able to post that daily. You want to make the content high quality. If you can post daily, but if the content's not exciting or relevant or interesting, people are going to think, oh, this is a spam page. And they're just going to leave. They're just going to follow. You need to share your content across all your platforms. That's one big thing we started with Carrie Rice Houses, was the cross-promotion. So if you have a YouTube channel, you need to share that on your Facebook. You should have a Facebook. You should share it on your website. You should share it on your Twitter. Whenever we post something on YouTube, we can share it everywhere we have. If you want to put in the extra effort, you can even share it on Instagram if you want to make custom thumbnails, which I suggest you do. Give the people what they want. This is a big one. Listen to your consumers. Everyone likes to be heard. Everybody loves to be heard. So if you are running, let's say, a makeup business, You review makeup blog. You review makeup products or, mommy blogs. I'll do one better. Mommy blogs make a lot of money. A lot of them review household products. People will send in to them. They'll be like, can you review this cleaner? It looks like it's organic and it's eco-friendly and it's safe for babies, but I want to know if it's any good. Like, does it actually work? They will review them, and those posts will just go viral because that's what people really want to see. So listen to the feedback from your customers, because often they're just going to tell you what they want, and that makes everybody's job easier. You don't have to come up with ideas. Escape.
With reviews, the youngest millionaire is currently a 6-year-old boy that reviews toys online on YouTube.
Yes. Yes. Reviews.
So.
Reviews the big thing.